from our viewers. What do you think of this decision by Bengaluru? Remember, recently Bengaluru was also in the news for the traffic nightmare that was witnessed in one of the weekends for about 2 kilometers, 3 to 4 hours, people stuck in traffic jams. We want to hear from you on what you think of the Siddaramaiah government's decision to ban carpooling at a time when there are no other solutions available for the people. We have Padma joining us from Bengaluru. Thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, hello, I'm Padma from Bangalore. I'm a senior citizen, but I'm very much for saving natural resources. And petrol is also one of the most important natural resources. I don't think it should be wasted. As it is, once or twice when I have been coming back from Majestic or something, these cab drivers, Ola or Uber, they just ditch us at the last minute and we have to wait for 5 or 6 rounds before getting even late in the night. So they keep us at their mercy. So why should they stop people from using carpool? Because they can, if friends get together and they save resources, they're going comfortably. Nothing wrong in that by turn if they're doing that. So carpool should not be banned. It is all being done politically.
Okay, all right. Ms. Padma, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. In fact, many, especially from IT companies who carpool, go to work, sharing cars also makes it much easier on the environment. We also have Captain A.K. Singh joining us from Jabalpur. Thank you for joining us. Captain, what are your thoughts?
मैं हिंदी में बोलूंगा, चलेगा?
बोलिए।
मेरा ये कहना है कि ये जो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने जो भी कुछ किया है, ये चीज को हाईलाइट होना चाहिए, जिससे कम से कम मध्य प्रदेश और राजस्थान में लोग इनके झांसे में ना आए। यही मेरा कहना है और चाहे तो ये बीजेपी तक पहुंचा दें कि ऐसी चीज को हाईलाइट करना चाहिए।
Okay, all right. Captain Singh, thank you for joining us. So an appeal going out to the Siddaramaiah government not to ban carpooling, saying that it can have adverse effects. Many also saying that this is a decision that has been taken by the government for various reasons, but finally it is the people of Bengaluru who are going to be suffering because of this decision being taken by the Siddaramaiah government. Now, carpooling has been banned and it can even attract a fine up to 10,000 rupees. So carpooling is officially illegal in Bengaluru. There is no rationale behind this decision and Bengalurians are fuming over it. The Karnataka government made this announcement that carpooling in Bengaluru is banned, advising the passengers not to take rides from the carpooling apps. This decision was taken after complaints came in from the Taxi Drivers Association. The taxi drivers claimed that their business was getting harmed because of carpooling. My colleague Deepak is also joining us from the newsroom because it has also taken a political turn, with the BJP MP also writing to the Chief Minister saying, please explain the rationale. This goes against the progress of Bengaluru.
Right, Pratibha, let's now keep aside the letters or rather the request by the cab drivers. Let's speak about facts and logics here in Bengaluru. So what BJP MP has written to Siddaramaiah is that the average vehicular speed during peak hours is 15 kilometers per hour. The same on the outer ring road, which supports a majority of the city's IT parks and offices, is about 4 kilometers per hour. In all, the usage of vehicles costs Bengaluru a loss of about $1 billion in traffic jams from man-hours lost in commute and its related psychological impact. And with regards to the public transport of the city, the number of buses operated by BMTC remained stagnant at 4,500 for the last few years and has increased to about 6,763 right now. The fleet size is insufficient to meet the demands of Bengaluru, which has a population size of about 1.10 crore. It is estimated that around 6,000 more buses of various sizes are also required for the city. Now, in the next page, he says that the ban on such carpooling services, citing rules of the transport department, is detrimental to the interests of the city and will only make the traffic congestion worse. The ban on carpooling will add more vehicles to the road. Each of those carpooling persons will choose to commute with their own vehicle to move to rather work than using an unreliable and overcrowded bus services, cabs, autos, or incomplete metro network. And in light of the above facts, Tejasvi Surya has now requested Chief Minister to consider the ban on carpooling services on the interim basis, while also urging you to amend or update the outdated Karnataka motor vehicles rules. Doing so will greatly improve the traffic situation in Bengaluru, is what Tejasvi Surya has said.
Absolutely. In fact, fact, carpooling is also said to be one of the reasons why traffic has been reduced. So, Deepak, there are many Bengalurians who are also asking these questions, saying that carpooling has been one of the most efficient ways to reduce the traffic on the road, to reduce the number of vehicles on the road, especially when people are headed towards the same way. Questioning the Siddaramaiah government on why this decision was taken only after complaints came in from the taxi associations.
Right, Pratibha, now what happened is that these private cab aggregators like Ola and Uber have found so many carpooling, apps like Rideshare and many other apps which they claim is hitting their share of the pie. So they are claiming that if these kind of apps are, helping people in carpooling services, then their bread is being snatched away from them, because instead of one person booking one individual cab for him and 4 people booking 4 individual cabs, these 4 people together use a private carpooling app to book a carpooling service with whiteboard taxis. Now, Siddaramaiah government has stated that whiteboard taxis are also illegal, and using these services could also, give them a fine of about 5,000 to 10,000 rupees. But why has Siddaramaiah government banned carpooling is a big question, because at this time, the need of the hour is carpooling and to reduce the number of cars on the road.
And the population of Bengaluru is 11 million. There are close to 12.5 million vehicles on the road. So nothing explains this decision. Stay with us. We have Mr. S. Prakash of the BJP also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. S. Prakash, the government says there were complaints from the taxi associations, auto rickshaw associations, which is why they've taken this decision.
It is an illogical decision the transport department has taken. The need of the hour is to encourage carpooling. Few years back, the government itself was encouraging carpooling and putting up hoardings throughout Bangalore to take the help of carpooling. Today, they have banned carpooling and say 10,000 rupees will be fined. If there is any lacuna in the system, they should address it, not entirely ban it. It is sad. People with no vision are holding the power and they are ruling the state.
Absolutely. And do you think that there will be a rollback on this decision? Because there seems to be a lot of anger, many also questioning the Siddaramaiah government. But he has, of course, been saying that because the taxi associations hit the streets, they were protesting. Auto rickshaws say that their business is affected. That's the reason why we are taking this decision.
No, this has to be rolled back. Tomorrow, the taxi association, auto rickshaw owners demand no private vehicles should run on the street other than their own association vehicles. Will the government succumb to that demand also?
True.
Who are they to demand all such illogical issues? It is a wish of the people to join 4 or 5 people and go together.
Absolutely.
Taxi association has no business to interfere.
All right, Mr. Prakash, thank you for joining us on the broadcast. We also want to hear from our viewers on what you think of this decision, banning carpooling, because the auto rickshaws and taxi drivers have complained that they're losing business because many opt for carpooling. But what about the traffic? This is helping the traffic situation, keeps several vehicles off the roads. Why is it that the Siddaramaiah government has given in to these demands by the taxi drivers and auto drivers? That's the question. Viewers, we want to hear from you. Shashank is joining us from Mysuru. Thank you for joining us. Shashank, what do you think of this decision?
Yeah, Siddaramaiah government is to protect the welfare of the people of Karnataka. Making forward, 11 million people living in Bangalore.
Yes.
Carpooling is the big benefit to the people, residents of Bangalore, where it's not only reduce the traffic but also reduce the pollution. It also saves the Mother Earth. This is a big blunder made by Siddaramaiah government. They should roll back this decision so that it will help. The government is there to protect the welfare of the people, protect the interests of the people, not only small people, taxi drivers. Taxi drivers are also important, but the major role as citizens of the country, where they said the population, the pollution is increasing day by day. So they should, keeping in mind that they should roll back this decision.
Okay, all right. Shashank, thank you for joining us. An appeal to the Chief Minister to roll back this decision. Sheila is joining us from Bengaluru, but before that, I want to introduce Sanket Yanagi of the Congress Party joining us. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sanket Yanagi. There's a lot of anger. A lot of people from across Bengaluru and even the country really are perplexed over this decision of banning carpooling.
Both pros and cons for the carpooling issue. One, it is advantageous to the people, but other way, there are certain security issues or the unaccountability issues.
Okay. Have there been any incidents of security concerns?
We should not wait for the incident to happen. and it
Okay.
is not the active governance. So before the incident could take place, there are certain
But
security
aren't there
measures
similar
which need-
security concerns when it comes to private cabs?
So private cab, it is accountable. Companies are accountable. Their data are verified. Every detail should be available here.
Okay, it's the same with carpooling. In fact, carpooling apps have been
so that
banned,
is
and many
why-
of these carpooling apps also work in a way where,
So that is how
especially
we
with
have
IT companies, only the IT
keeping-
company employees can carpool.
So everything being monitored, and now there are certain security measures to be increased, and thereby not just the traffic, but also the security parallelly has to be given concentration upon, and it is being worked out. And so certainly these issues are being dealt with a stringent hands. And the facilitation is one of the already there in the cards, and government is looking into this issue.
Okay, but this is a bizarre defense. Mr. Yanagi, thank you for joining us. It looks like the Congress party not yet giving in to the appeals that have come in to roll back this decision. Deepak Bopanna back with us. Deepak, so the Congress party says that there have been security concerns. The Congress party has also been saying that these appeals came in from the taxi drivers and the auto rickshaw drivers, that their business was being hit. But there are also Bengalurians who are asking these questions. Do we have infrastructure for so many vehicles when carpooling is a solution? Why take these counterproductive measures?
Well, before going ahead and taking these sort of decisions, the government also should consider the reality on the ground, and that is, of course, whether there is last mile connectivity as far as public transport is concerned, whether the IT sector where a large number of people commute on a daily basis is connected with the metro, and both these answers at this point in time will be a no. And in such a situation, if anything is helping, and carpooling is something that is advised in countries across the world, and especially where congestion is something that is prevalent. And here, yes, they're citing certain rules, that is whiteboard vehicles, cannot really be used for commercial purposes. But can't this be amended? And up until now, of course, it has been operating. Now with the pressure mounting from auto drivers associations and cab drivers associations, the government seems to have now said that carpooling apps will not be allowed to operate and fines will be levied. But overall, at this point in time, like we've been hearing multiple voices that have been coming to the fore, political and the common man, they don't seem to be very happy with this decision.
Absolutely. Deepak, thank you for joining us with those details. Let's hear from our viewers who are joining us, many calling us with their thoughts. Thank you so much for staying with us. Sheila, what do you think?
Bangalore is choked. People are stuck in traffic for 3 to 4 hours. And instead of finding a solution, this man just listened to some association without thinking of the pros and cons. If they want to reduce traffic and if they want to increase security, let them find ways for that. Let them improve the infrastructure. Let them give us better public transport. And for once, let all political parties take a vow not to have political rallies in Bangalore by which they are congesting the roads, inconveniencing public and wasting petrol, which is a very, very precious resource. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, Sheila. We also have Raghavendra joining us from Bengaluru. Many Bengalurians calling in, of course, also speaking about the experiences that they've had on the roads of Bengaluru. Mr. Raghavendra, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
My thoughts is very straightforward. Bangalore is the traffic nightmare of the world, as we all know. And the main reason for that is the enormous number of vehicles that have been permitted and license given. Carpooling is an excellent concept. Maybe the aggregator need not come into it, but private car owners like myself, for instance, I take my friends along with me. It's a self kind of motivated thing that I do to, make the traffic less on the roads of Bangalore. I think it's not at all it's a very ill-conceived decision, and the public must be taken into confidence before such decisions are actually made. Unilateral decisions like this just thrust on us, makes our life even more hapless. We are basically hapless. We pay our taxes very regularly, and this is what we get. I'm sorry that this is not at all a good decision.
Okay, all right. Mr. Raghavendra, your anger is understandable. We also have Satyan Mahapatra joining us from Delhi. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Satyan, what do you think? Mr. Satyan? All right, we'll try and reconnect that line with Mr. Satyan Mahapatra joining us from Delhi. We have Dr. K.S. Rao joining us from Bengaluru. Dr. Rao, what's your experience been on the roads? Has carpooling helped? Is this a right decision by the Siddaramaiah government?
No, it's not at all a right decision. It's very, ignorant. I travel from overseas Sydney all the time here, and I think this is not a garden city. It is a traffic jam city for the world, and he's going to make it much worse with his decision. And I would say stupidity is that is the mafia which is running this transport public, the autos and taxi. They prevail upon the politicians to get their word to prevail, and these people have budged to them. So it is a mafiocracy, not democracy.
So there should have been discussions with all stakeholders before taking such a unilateral decision. Dr. Rao, thank you for joining us. We also have Shashidharan joining us from Bengaluru. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Shashidharan. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so there are 2 points to look at it. One is the taxi and cab auto drivers agitation started ever since the government started this free bus rides for women folks. At that time, they started their business getting hampered. So to compensate to that, they are coming up with this carpool ban, which is not at all right. And the second aspect is that what action they are going to take with these cab drivers when you're not getting, in spite of booking it, there are frequent cancellations, and then they don't come for the short distances. So there should be some counter action taken against them as well. So this is kind of a balancing act they're trying to do at the cost of banning the carpool. Not all the carpools are based upon commercial aspect. There are certain things which they are taking based upon the points and mutual understanding. So this is definitely not a very beneficial thing for the common man.
Okay, so the government should do a rethink. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanking all our viewers for joining us. My apologies if we couldn't take any calls, but this remains our top focus here on Times Now. Counterproductive, a lot of flack that the Siddaramaiah government is facing. What was the thought and rationale behind it? Only the Chief Minister would be able to explain. We're keeping a track of that. Quick break. We'll be right back.